the modern world, China is a major player. It has the world's second biggest economy, worth over $9 trillion, and dominates manufacturing, producing around 90% of the world's computers, 70% of the world's phones, and 60% of the world's shoes. This emphasis on manufacturing means many of the people that live in China are moving from rural farming areas to find work in the country's rapidly expanding cities. This is a lot of people. After all, China is the most populous country on the planet, with a population of over 1.3 billion people. Over the last 35 years, China has transformed from a largely rural society whose traditions hadn't changed for centuries, to one of the most modern, urban, and technologically advanced nations in the world. But China is also one of the world's oldest civilizations. Many of the most important modern inventions and discoveries happened here, and one of those was the invention of paper. Paper was first made here in the Han Dynasty over 2,000 years ago and spread across the world via ancient China's many trading routes. This rich heritage, which stretches back thousands of years, is very important to Chinese culture, and many people still struggle to keep the ancient techniques alive. This is Shiqiao village in China's Guizhou province. One of the few places left in China that still makes its living from paper making using traditional techniques. It was once a centre of the industry, famed for its delicate Zhuan paper, but today it is mainly a tourist attraction, exhibiting a process that hasn't changed for centuries. It starts with this, the Wing Celtis tree, a variety of elm whose bark is crucial to Zhuan paper. First, the tree limbs are hacked down and stripped of their bark. This is washed and cleaned in the local river before it is separated into long strands of fibre. To stay true to the ancient methods, the workers here use very little machinery, and what they do use is very basic. Instead, they use their hands. It is a long and painstaking process, but this is the way the people who live in this area have worked for thousands of years. Once the bark has been stripped as finely as possible, it is boiled and steamed in vats like this, which are heated by these large coal ovens. After a while, the bark, which has been cleaned and softened, is pounded by these large wooden mallets, which separates the bark and leaves just the fibre. This is mixed with water again to create pulp, the first step towards the final product. This pulp is then filtered using these large wooden screens. Eventually, the screens separate the fibres from the water, leaving a fine film of paper, which is layered to form a huge block. This process is repeated again and again until eventually all the fibre is removed from the pulp. When they are ready, these sheets are separated and carefully brushed against the wall to dry. It is here that we can see the final transformation from pulp to paper. This paper is quite different to the mass-produced product we all use today. It's thicker and more like fabric. And it's beautiful. The highly skilled craftsmen and women that live in this small rural village use it to make a range of products, from notebooks to lanterns. Of course, these items are a lot more expensive than factory-made paper products, but it's worth it. This paper is made to be kept, not simply used and discarded. In many modern businesses, quantity is more important than quality. In pursuit of profits, companies want to produce more and more for less and less. But here in Shiqiao, the emphasis is on the technique rather than the profit margin. This process has been refined over centuries, and the skills it requires have been passed down from generation to generation. So in the end, the product that they produce is almost the same today as it was over 1,000 years ago.